I mean, look at Pix Imperfect. He's a genius. I mean, that channel, and he does things that are so incredible in 30 seconds. They're mind blowing. And he's got the best hair on the planet. But those kind of channels are always going to be there, I think.
He was on the show a few weeks ago. If you listen to this, or if you're watching this, make sure you check out that episode. That was super fun having you on the show. And you're absolutely right, an absolute genius. It's
genius.
Also really, it's really interesting also to watch his channel. I've been following his channel for years, and really the way that channel has developed, is the production quality on that today is so different from what it was.
Right.
And yet his hair has stayed perfect for the whole time.
My hair has not changed either. This has only gone gray. That's it. Well, the interesting thing is the new content that's coming out. I have seen a difference between sort of the style overpowering the teaching. I do see that a lot. That's frustrating. You get these videos that look fantastic. They're edited. They've got fantastic music, but there's just nothing to them. So I think that's one of the negative sides to having a lot of influencers and creators and stuff that back in my day, there were a lot of people that learned how to teach. And that's where they started from. Teachers that actually knew how to lay out a plan of the principle and the application and, the handles where you could grab on and apply that stuff. So that I'm seeing is one of those gaps. So there are a few people that do it really, really well. They have the style, the editing, the presentation, like Pix Imperfect. That's a fantastic example because he doesn't only have great content, but his content looks fantastic. It's well presented. And I won't name names, but there are others that it's just a clickbait thumbnail. You hop in there, they've got the latest gadget and they say it's fantastic and they're off and running, to the next video. And it's just all about, how many eyeballs they can get, that sort of is the fault of the algorithm and what's happened to YouTube. So I don't really fault them because if you're going to earn any money on YouTube, you have to have a lot of watch hours. You got to not only have a lot of views, those views have to stick around and watch the videos. And so the only way to do that is to sort of do the cliffhanger video where it's like, in this episode, I'm going to show you the one thing that you're doing with your camera that could destroy your career. But first, that kind of stuff, because you have to get people to keep watching. So I blame that on YouTube, not so much the content creators.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the problem with, with a platform that really balloons out of all proportion, over time.
Right.
Because everybody's competing for the same watch time. Ultimately, and this is one of those things. For this channel, for instance, watch time is also very important. But the vast majority of people who consume this podcast are quite evidently consuming it on audio. So, getting those people to come over to YouTube and actually to create that. So, for instance, that minimum of watch time hours that you need to even be monetized, for example, on YouTube, that. It took absolutely flipping forever with this.
My Shifty Drifty channel is not monetized because the only way you can get to monetization, first you got to get 1,000 subscribers to get at the base level. Then I think you're a partner, but you can't monetize. And you have to, it's 1,000 watch hours within 365 days.
It's
10,000.
4,000.
Is it 4,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it rolls off. So if you've got a great video that you made in January and you're at 3,500 in December and you only get a couple hundred videos, then in January that video rolls, you got to so it forces you to just keep creating content. So I sort of like that because it does set a bar that says, if you're going to monetize, you have to be serious about it. You've got to create. You have to be a creator.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people
so from an economical point of view, it's like even the word monetizing is a big word. Because you're not really gonna it's not a substitute for a full-time job in terms of income. Even once you reach that hurdle, you make a few bucks here or there. It's nothing.
Right.
It pays for absolutely nothing. So that's where this sort of, the listener or the subscriber support becomes really important. I want to talk a little bit about Adorama TV, because obviously I know you originally, this goes back
from Adorama TV.
Literally years. I discovered you through Adorama TV. And I said in the last episode, and it's absolutely true, literally your video on how to use speedlights has taught me everything I know about speedlights.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's one of those videos where, there's so much golden information in there, and it was so thorough that I've referenced that video many, many times over the years, because
which one is it? I think I've made 50 speedlight videos. I don't know which one you're talking about.
I think it was like a course or something. It was definitely several episodes. It covered everything from, how to show groups with speedlights and,
Was it my Creative Live Speedlights 101 class?
Yes, you're correct. It was Creative Live.
Okay.
Not Adorama TV.
With the ninjas.
With the ninjas, yes, exactly right.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That class, you want to hear some crazy background about that class? I was not scheduled to teach that class. And Chase called me and said, hey, guess what? Next week, the presenter we had lined up had canceled, or maybe it was 2 weeks out. Can you come in and teach? Because at that time, Creative Live was live every weekend. And so I'm like, sure, I've got this class that I teach, this Speedlights 101. And they said, come up and teach it. And so I had about 4 days to prepare that. It was a class I taught a few times, but because it was sort of last minute, there was no expectation for it to be this big, spectacular class. And it was sort of low-key fun. And I think that translated to the content being probably better than it would have been if there was a bunch of pressure for it to be knock it out of the park home run. And it turned out to be one of my favorite classes I've ever taught, because it was so fun. Like the ninjas, we have these ninjas flipping around. If you haven't seen the class, at the end of the class, that was not planned. That I was trying to figure out how to teach the pre-flash. And I thought, I was a big fan of this old YouTube thing called I Am Ninja. I don't know if you remember this old ninja show from the 2000s. But I was like, oh yeah, a ninja is sort of like the pre-flash.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, then press here for the full episode in glorious Technicolor. Hey, and don't forget to subscribe.